Hello, I'm back, and this is Metal Mind Scroll Art. Thanks for tuning in. This is part two to be continued of my talking about my medication usage, and then Africa's tribes that eat the stomach of a cow and the innards that would be maybe close to a probiotic as you can get from an animal. Um, I wouldn't eat it, but I know that if they have a bad stomach, sometimes people will breathe into the cow. Well, anyway, for cow's stomach contents, which would be bile. And that guy, I've had a lot of stomach trouble over the past 20 years. I don't talk about it openly, but I would do it in the tribe if that was what would help, smelling this cow's stomach. But eating it raw and all that stuff, it talks about, well, in the Bible, we're supposed to cook the stuff. That's due to customs of the different customs from different beliefs and things around the world. It doesn't all. But see, my doctor, she's a holistic doctor. One of my doctors from the past that treated me for ticks in Lexington, Virginia. She's a very good doctor, and said to my ex, "Don't ever eat undercooked meat." And he's been eating like halfway raw steaks and things like that. And I do turn my nose up to that because I think that you can get pathogens, and the way the meat's handled in the meat industry, you don't know, what kind of crap's going to be on it. Germs. So, but there's people isolated out there that live their lives. Who knows how it helps, but they know what to do if they can do it without modern medicine. And I'm sorry about that. But I do know of an elixir that I made when I got a brown recluse spider bite. I mean well by all this. It just makes me think. An elixir I made for my back when I got bit by a brown recluse spider bite over 3 years ago, and smack dab in the middle of my back. And I was supposed to go to a follow up with a burn specialist, but never did. And then because I went to another doctor and said, "Can we just call it off? I don't want to go all the way to Roanoke to a burn specialist." I healed it myself with an elixir of raw, organic, unfiltered honey from any brand I could get. Probably more expensive kind of honeys, I guess. One was a local Virginia honey in a jar that I got at the market up the road. And then I mixed garlic cloves with it. And at first, when I was treating my back for a week before I went to the emergency room, which was dumb because I didn't know. I thought it was like, I wasn't sure it was I didn't know it was a spider bite. I thought that I had a sting from something like a stink bug, or I got a gnat infestation recently. Excuse me. It'll get better. I just need to take off this load of trash when my friend Susan's truck gets finished getting repaired in the it's just what it is. But anyway, it'll be alright. Yeah, as I was talking about previously, I was talking about, oh goodness. Yes, just different things. Well, my mind wanders sometimes because I have a lot on my mind, but I could be going in New York this July 2026, so yay, and gonna get to go because it's been see my nieces and nephews and everybody, and to see some sights and the regular sights. I've been going to New York since I was 12 when my first niece Isabella was born, so I'm very glad about that. And I got some gifts to give them, so I'm very happy about this. But it's more about giving gifts. It's about being there for one another, and it's been really hard because of the distance, you know. And I don't have any children of my own, so I get emotional sometimes, but I don't talk about it, you know. Um, Me and my ex, we just didn't work out, but he has a son, and hello to Julian out there and his little sister Ada. If you guys ever watch this, I love you, and I want you to know that I'm sorry that I not around. I just couldn't. I got sick and I had to break up with Jason, who was an alcoholic. So thank you for being a part of my life when you were. And we're on Facebook now, so take care, and I love you, and God bless. And this is terrible for me because I invested a lot of my life in my ex's life, and it just took away, or it added to my life at the time, but I couldn't keep it up anymore. Driving a car, even. It felt like I had a stroke when I had a breakdown in 2021 or something like that during Corona. Right after my ex's father passed, I waited a few months or a year. Then I broke up with him because I couldn't take any more responsibilities because I was sick with my own shit. I was sick with my own stuff because it was diabetes, and then I had been throwing up for over a decade. I have been throwing up for over a decade, but I quit that as soon as I got on the metformin about 3 or 4 years ago. I would throw up after every evening meal. And I was bulimic and didn't tell anybody for a decade. 8 years. I don't know how long. Could have been longer than that. Probably as long as I've been smoking cigarettes, but I quit those too. So Winston's, I was smoking those. And I tell people, do not start. If you want to quit, use the stuff that helps you quit. Those pouches called On and my upper lip helped me quit. So I smoked for 15 years or something. Off and on, mostly. A pack a day. Winston's. And either the gold or the red, preferably the gold. And I don't have any urge now. I let that go. But if I do get an urge, I just do the little pouch you put in your upper lip. And that lasts 2 milligrams, the lowest amount. And, so I urge people if they want to quit smoking because your behavior can get really off. When you're waiting for your next cigarette, it can get totally off. People just beg you for this or that to get a cig. And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. You should help people that need that help, though. There was a man in Bedford who was elderly, and he dropped dead in his yard, I heard, after a couple days. The next day, I heard, I was waiting outside of Walmart. It's not my fault, but I feel guilty that I didn't give him a cigarette because he asked me for one. And he was always asking me for change, and he drove a moped and drank alcohol. And, I tried to help him as much as I could. But people that are addicted to something, such as my own self was, it's hard to help each other when you can't help yourself. So, this video is probably going to get an R rating. But I suggest there's places people can go to if they want to go to AA or NA or for support at your local churches. Some of them and places around, and that's what me and my ex did off and on. And I'd been to them on my own as well when I lived in Vinton at a time with my brother and his wife at the time. And I went through the system there for the mental health system so I've been getting mental health treatment and physical health treatment for a while now. And it's been hard. But, I don't get that too happy to hear that I have to have a colonoscopy. I have to have regular mammograms because I have a cyst in my right breast since I was 11 or 12. I found it, and then I had a biopsy of it, and they said it was a cyst when I was 16 years old. Well, today I have to have it maintained and taken a mammogram every year now. I agreed to that because I didn't want to go every 6 months. They left a titanium clip in my right breast when fat samples were taken out, and they deemed that it was cancer-free. So thank God. I don't know what I was doing, what I was going through, but it was hard. And I'm having a good day today, though. I painted this new painting, see, behind me. I got curtains to put up, but my back's been hurting me, so I haven't put up the curtains. And, oh no, I gave my mom that. Never mind. But I gotta get new curtains. When it looks bad, I don't want to use the same curtains year after year. You're supposed to get a new set every year if you don't wash them, throw them out because of the dust. And this has been year number 2, so it's dusty or something like that. Because I cut the sheet going across, or I just got to get a balance or something for back here. And this is the back of my trailer right here, and this is the front facing the road where I'm facing, and the living room. And I just need to get something more presentable. I've been getting a lot of stuff on Temu, but about my health, I gotta keep it on track. So I'm trying to do the best that I can do. I don't know how long any of us have in this world. If we could all figure this out, we could agree to make more peace in places around in the world. I don't know who would come to an agreement like that when they realize that we're all living a very short life, and the resources might be slim to help feed people, shelter people, give people jobs, give them disability support if necessary. Maybe rehabilitation. That sounds like a third world country gone. No, it does, with help of some sort. But I'm just talking about like people's attitudes. It's like it could change when everybody kind of just comes to some realization at the same time that